Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Into the Night with Shawn Kelly. How are we doing tonight? How was your Christmas? My Christmas was great. Okay. Now, the weather up here in Pittsburgh in the East Coast. Oh, what I would like to do is everybody, please, like keep the people in Buffalo, New York in your prayers or in your minds because they're really catching a lot of snow up there. Um, But down where I live in Pittsburgh, we were like -7, and it was like -24. That's what it felt like. But all in all, besides the cold, I mean, the Christmas was great, and I'll tell you why my Christmas was great. Is because my son was supposed to come in from Indianapolis. He was going to drive from Indianapolis to Pittsburgh. And what happened was he was driving out of Indy. Oh, hi, Tom Williams. How are you? Um, and what happened was he saw three major accidents over in Indiana, as he was pulling out of Indianapolis and he turned around and went home. And so he called us and told us that. And it was a little, kind of like depressing because these last 3 or 4 years, he hardly ever got to go home. COVID was a big thing, but he got sick. In fact, a couple years ago, he came up to Pittsburgh, and Christmas Eve he got sick, so he had to go back to Indianapolis. But so what he did was when he came home back to his apartment, he made a phone call and got an airplane flight from Indianapolis to. He had to go to Washington D.C. first, and for a layover, and then come into Pittsburgh. And he made it in by 5 o'clock Christmas evening. It was beautiful. It was so nice to see him. He's just growing up, and he's a good man, good young man, and to see him just made my day. Just made my Christmas, made my mother's Christmas very much. She was really excited to see him. I don't know how everybody else's Christmases went, but I hope it was a very good one because I don't know. It was a good feeling. Hey, Kim. Hi. Good to see you, hon. Thank you for coming to the show. Merry Christmas to you. And so, it just had a good feel about it this year. A real good feel. And it was great. Um, but the good news is, though, the good news that I got a phone call today after work. And here, my truck, my brand new truck, is here in Pittsburgh. It's at the car dealer right now. And tomorrow I'm going to pick it up. And I am so excited about it. As I was talking to my producer, Joe, earlier in the morning, earlier before the show started, well, I don't know why the morning, he's always an hour behind. I wouldn't want to call that early. But he, I asked him, like, I never had a truck before. Has anybody out there ever had a truck that drove a truck? I got a Ford Maverick XLT, the Keller's Alto Blue, which is real pretty. But I never drove a truck before, but I always wanted one. Oh, hi, Kim. You have? Cool. Is it easy, Kim? I'm just a little bit nervous about that because I always had cars. Always had cars. But this time around, it was like getting up there. Thank you, hon. I hope so. I hope so. In fact, I know I will. Sweet. It's got one of them where you put it in reverse. It has one of the reverse cameras on there, so I got to get kind of used to that. So I'm all pumped up. Hi, Denise. Yeah, I got the blue. I got the Alto. It's gorgeous. I mean, It's a very gorgeous truck. I love the Keller. The Keller's great. And then I got like navy gray on the inside of the seats and inside the truck. So we'll see what happens. I got the tow package. And the reason why I got the tow package, because, I got 7 more years and then I can retire, and when I retire, besides my mom and my brother, there's nothing here in Pennsylvania for me. Nothing here in Pittsburgh. And I worked so long in customer service that sure, I did go out and I went to Gettysburg and North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland. I did travel, but you know, I'll be able to get in this truck and go. Just go out west. Montana's a biggie for me. I want to go out to Montana. I want to go to the Dakotas and just travel and see that part. Um, of the world, of the country. So, but besides that, everything was great. And everybody, I hope you had a good Christmas. Did you eat a lot? This was the first year ever for Christmas that we had lasagna and shrimp. That was it. And a little bit of turkey. Well, let me tell you about the turkey bit, right? Mom got that turkey back in Thanksgiving, and we ate the dark meat, the thighs and the legs at Thanksgiving, but we kept the breast and we saved it for Christmas. And so what happened was my mom back at Thanksgiving had a little taste of that turkey breast, and it was kind of dry. So what we did was we got one of them syringes, and we uh, put butter and sage, into this syringe, and oh my God, was it nice and juicy. And so that's the way I feel like they make lunch meat now. So I'm going to be doing that for a while now, inserting it and putting in butter and sage. Denise, hi, I love the reverse camera. Once I got used to it, saw mom had a birthday. Yes, it was my mom's birthday, Christmas Day. Yes, it was a nice birthday. My son came in, and it just made her birthday. Oh, I have wanted to go to Wyoming forever. Hope you follow up and make that trip. I hope so too. God willing, let's allow a look at it. But it's good to see you here, on in the show, in the room. So I'm just like all full of happiness today. It just seems like I've gone through Hades for almost all of 2022. Every time I turned around, something was going wrong and something was wrong, and then, well, I don't know. Then got the call from the truck. My son came in from Christmas, and I got the call today. So far so good. I'm hoping that 2023, goes a little better than 2022, but we'll just have to see. We'll have to see if that happens. Now we had a psychic on our last show. I I'm really bad with names. Um, Cordy something, I forget, but she is really cool. If you didn't get a chance to listen to our show on Chasing Prophecy tonight, you can go to the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society Facebook page, and you also can go to the Chasing Prophecy Facebook page, and you'll be able to watch it. But she's saying that 2023 is not going to be a good year, and I'm like, well, if it is, if it isn't, it's okay. You know, whatever God or spirit or whoever you believe in brings at you or throws at your feet or throws at you, you're going to have to learn how to deal with it. Because that's what I have to do. I got to deal with things that come up, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, and I'm just going to enjoy every minute. Kimberly says, I think it depends on what you make it. True. That's true, Kim. Um, and I'm going to try to make it right. I'm not going to. I don't know how to say this, but I'm not going to try to push for results as I used to. Okay. I don't want to push things. I'm just going to try to make it happen. And there's a little saying in AA, it's like trying is like dying. Just do it. You know, the Nike commercial, just do it. But I'm going to different. I'm going to do it different. I'm going to look at life at a whole new perspective. I have retired from ghost hunting. We have Pittsburgh Paranormal Society does not exist anymore. The reason why we do have the Facebook page up is for the Chasing Prophecy show. If you happen to message and you have some problem going on in your house or you have a haunting going on, feel free to leave the message and I will send it to different groups and maybe they can help you out with your problem at your house. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Or if you need any advice, I'll be more than happy. But as coming down to actually doing the investigation, I'm not doing it no more. So, and there's other groups out there too. I'm 60 years old, and I've been I had the group since 2006. And to be honest with you, I got tired of it. I got bored. You know, and I guess that's the way I looked at it. It's the way. And to be honest with you, I was thinking about that the other day, and I'm thinking, wow, I really haven't thought about ghosts or hauntings. You know, Holly, why hasn't Jason been on Chasing Prophecy? Jason is no longer on the show. Holly, um, he has other things to do. You know, I really can't bring up that subject now, um, but he's no longer on the show. But I'll tell him that you're asking about him. So just, I, I don't know. That's one of the things that happened, and I'm just going to let it go at that. He's a good dude. He's got a good group. Reverend Entity Paranormal Society reps. So, Holly, if you want to get a hold of him, just go to Facebook page reps. Reverend Entity uh, rep. Oh, it's a P. Uh, Paranormal Society. So, if you want to get a hold of him there, go ahead. He'd be willing to help. He's a very good ghost. He's a very good hunter. He's a very good investigator, and he has a good crew with him. So, if you want to talk, go see Jason. Give him a message. I'm sure he'll help you out to the best of his ability. You know, but I just feel like a 1,000 pounds is lifted off my shoulders. You know, I had a real deep, intense talk with a very like my adopted sister, Val, and I told her, I said, I'm done. And I've been talking about retiring for a long time. I have been, you know. I know that paranormal investigating really, really does help people out. And it also gets people to go out and try out their equipment, see what answers. Oh, nothing bad's happened, Holly. No, everything's okay. Holly, you got that reading today on the show. How did it go? Was the lady right? If you want to tell us, go ahead. I appreciate that if you want. If you don't, I totally understand. But there's a lot of young people now out there investigating, and I just don't have the gumption or whatever. I don't have the drive for it, and I'm okay with that. You know, people do come up, other groups that come up and ask for my advice, and I give it the best that I can. So I'm okay with it. And I think the ghosts are happy too that I'm not around. I guess they are. I don't know. But I will tell you this: in the 17 years I had PPS, I met a lot of wonderful people. I met a lot of beautiful people. I have learned everything from angels and demons to witches to pagan holidays, um, different type of hauntings, talking with the big people that do investigate. Some of them are on TV. I've learned a lot. And I have to say that it was the best 17 years of my life. But as you go on, and you go up there in age, okay, um, you just get tired. But there are other people out there that, my age or older that, go for it. But I just cannot go out to a place at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, stay up until 3 in the morning, and have to be at work at 9 in the morning. They just can't do that no more. My body can't take it. The only thing I really do, Holly says, she was kind of right. This is Holly's answer from the reading that she got from this lady. Holly says she was kind of right. I do have a passion for wanting to help abused animals. I do love animals of all kinds. Just love cats the best. Do you like cats, huh? Cats are okay. I like cats. The only problem with me and cats is that their dander, their fur, I'm totally allergic to it. And if I walked into a house that had cats and I didn't know that I could, my eyes start watering and my nose stuffs up. So if I have to go into a house, and there was a couple houses I had to go to investigate that had cats, I would just like take some Claritin or something like that in order to, block the dander. But I don't know, cats are cool. I watch all those funny cat stories, or not stories, but on TikTok, I see all them cat videos, and I think they're cute. You know, um, they're great. They they do put a smile on my face. Yes, they do. But the one thing that I am going to totally miss about investigating is going to the restaurant and having chocolate chip pancakes. Yes, chocolate chip pancakes was my to go food after an investigation. Unless we went to Eaton Park and I did the buffet. Because I know, it all depend on how hard Holly says I would be devastated if I was allergic to cats. I can't help but pick them up and love them. And that's okay, Hall. If, you know, if I had to, I would, you know, um, and that's okay. I can understand where you're coming from on being devastated, but, I know you. Yes, you did, hon. Yes, you did. Kim's a good cook. Oh my God, yes. If you want to tell your restaurant, if you're allowed to, you're more than welcome to say it in the chat room, Kim. You know, give you a little bit of advertisement here. But Kimberly can cook. This diner is awesome. It's up in Mount Washington, and oh my God, her sister Nina. Oh my God, can she cook? Oh, uh, I get fat. I get a lot. I get really fat up there. It's called. Uh, this is her name of her restaurant. It's called J&J's Family Restaurant. That is J as in John, J&J Family Restaurant. That and it's a little corner diner in Mount Washington, and it is food's phenomenal. If there's anybody else, like anybody else that listened to the show, okay, it's 300 Shiloh Street. J&J's Family Restaurant is 300 Shiloh Street. And I do believe that's 15211, correct, Kim? Tell me if I'm wrong. Thanks, hon. And I just lost train of thought. And maybe what I was supposed to say wasn't it? Okay, it is 15211. Okay, thank you, dear. And the food is good. And when you go to J&J's and you see Kimberly, just tell them Shawn sent you. you know, and she can tell you all about me. She's good. She's a good girl. Good family. The family's great. Great. They have their family's great. Beautiful. They do have a good breakfast up there. I'm telling you, Denise, I get full when I eat up there. Seriously, I do get full. But yeah, so back to sorry, Kim, but Eaton Park and their buffet. I do pig out. That's one thing I will definitely miss. But all in all, we'll see what happens with 2023. You know, now you all know that I do prospect gold, so I am going to do a little bit more of that. I'm definitely writing a book. I started on it. I think I got like 4 paragraphs. That's all I got because my time has been so busy with help taking care of mom and working all the time. So, but whenever I get a chance to write a paragraph or two down, I'll be doing. But I will definitely make sure, to tell y'all when it comes out. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a big book. I don't know if it's going to be a small book. I don't know. So as long as I keep writing paragraphs until I get to to finish the book, then it's going to happen. It's not going to be a novel. No way, no way in hell is it going to be a novel. I basically am going to write about my experiences and the different investigations and the different hauntings that we went to, you know, and see what we got. But I'm looking forward to that. So, as I was, we were help cleaning up the house, for Christmas Eve, my brother found my deck. I do read. I don't know if anybody really knows that, but I do read. I don't like calling them psychic readings, that's just a generic name for, being a psychic. I read cards. I don't read tarot. Okay. I read from the medicine cards. And we found them. Before, whenever I would give you when I would pick out, different animals, I took it from the book, but I never choose a card. So I think tonight I'm going to choose a couple cards, maybe two or three, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it takes us, you know. But before I'm saying that, again, there's people that don't like that, but I'm trying to work on that. I'm so trying to work on it. Holly, whenever you need help with wording, I know someone who is willing to help you with that. Really? Just message me on Facebook when you're ready. Thank you. Oh, wow. Awesome. Thank you, Holly. Appreciate that. I will definitely take you up on that because I failed English in school. When I talk and people who know me, I speak in double negatives. I was always told that I spoke in double negatives. Can you imagine having a whole book in double negatives? That'd be funny. But so I'm going to get back into doing the readings because I do enjoy that. I won't be helping people, with their paranormal experiences, but maybe I can guide them on a way. I'm not going to predict that they're going to win $1 million. Yes, yes, Denise, medicine cards. There, I'll show you. I'll show you what they look like. Okay, let's see if I do this right. See, they're really pretty. Ooh, there you go. That's what I read. And you got the antelope, and that's crazy about the antelope because the story behind the little in the book about the antelope was back when the Native Americans first came on United States soil or whatever, uh, U.S. or wherever. They didn't have no clothes. They had no food. Ah, they've been around, Denise, but they're like underneath. They're not really that popular with readers. A lot of people like the tarot. What I like about the deck too is the artwork is gorgeous. It's totally gorgeous. But the antelope has an interesting story, okay, behind the card. When the Native Americans came to um, the United States, we'll say, they didn't have no clothes. Thank you, Kim. The Native Americans, they had no clothes, they had no food, and it was snowing, and it was cold. And so, what the antelope did was the antelope went up to the Native Americans and they said, kill us so you can use our fur to keep you warm. And you can also use our meat to survive during the wintertime. But what I'm going to do right now, since I haven't brushed up on it, but I'll tell you the meaning behind the antelope. And if you can bear with me a couple minutes, let's see where we're at. Uh, so it's okay to look. I wish I had the mind to remember them all, but I'm just not there yet. A little Alzheimer's or something like that. I don't know. But according to the antelope, if when you pull the antelope card, it means action. Okay, it means you got to take action on things. And it's funny when I pulled that card up. That's what I'm doing right now. Taking action because there's a lot of things out there that are coming my way, and the big one is um, the truck coming tomorrow. I'm so damn excited. But I'm going to give a little reading. I'm going to pull a couple cards later on in the show and see what we come up with. And if the reading is somehow in the situation that you're going through right now, maybe it could help you out. See, we all have animal spirit guides, all of us. We do. And a little history behind why I really got into the animal spirit guides was that when I was starting out learning how to use my gifts, okay, I was in a bookstore one time, and this book was called Black Elk, the Lakota Sioux Shaman. It like literally jumped off the shelf and into my hands. I don't know if does that anybody ever happened to you, where you go into a bookstore and something just falls right into your hands. Well, this one did, and I started to read it. And is this a truck? Is the truck a ram? Like an animal? Good one. No, it's not a ram, hun. It's a Ford Maverick. I like Fords. So y'all can yell at me who don't like Fords. I'll take it. I like Fords. But that was funny. I like that, Denise. But when I read Black Elk, the Lakota Sioux Shaman, I was really, really interested. It made me feel at ease, okay? Because the only like spirituality that I had at the time when I first started out was Catholicism, okay? And we went away. I went away from that. I like you've heard me on the shows. You've heard me on Chasing Prophecy. I have a problem with Catholicism in the Bible. But that's for another story. That's for another show. But not tonight. It's a happy night. And so I started reading this, and here they dealt with animals. Okay. And it's crazy because if you read some of the literature, the books from the Lakota, they'll tell you that they believe in one God like everybody else does, but there are different meanings for other things that they look up to. And it's just so spiritual. It's so at ease for me. I learned that I could just go out into the woods and meditate and I would be connected with earth. And I just felt like rejuvenated every time that I did go into the woods and I meditated. I learned a lot. I totally learned a lot. But I never shared any of my meditations with you. And to start off brand new, I'm going to share them to you. I'm going to share my meditations on how um, I got to where I am right now, especially starting off with Blackout. Okay. As I was reading him, and I was reading his books, and I was reading his teachings, it just seems like that he kind of, adopted me, as a spirit guide, you know. And I learned I would go into meditations and he would be there. And just to show me different things, what their spirituality is, what the different animals, even the fish, the trees, the flowers, he would show me this. But one time he took me down to a lake, and what surrounded the lake was mountains. And up in the sky, a beautiful, like really blue, dark blue sky with a ton of stars up there, and the water was calm. Now, granted, this is a lake, and he would take me there often after this little meditation that I've gone through. And so we're sitting there, and he's not saying the word, and I think I'm getting, my butt kicked because I must have did something bad or something because he wasn't talking to me. And all of a sudden, two dolphins come out of the water. And he told me to go out to the dolphins. And so as I'm wading out into the water, the dolphins circled around, came up under my arms, and they took me in the water in the lake. And as they're taking me down there, I'm scared because whenever you're in a meditation, sometimes it feels so real. And I, honest to God, thought I was drowning. It was scary, but something told me, something in my mind told me, you're okay. So I went down there and saw some whales, saw some, sharks, and saw all kinds of different fish. It was like really surreal for me. So finally we get to the middle of the lake, and there was a little hole about this big. But as we swam closer, the hole got really, really big. And there was like great white sharks protecting it. Okay. So as the dolphins were coming, the sharks separated. Okay. And I walked in. And so when I walked in, it was orange. It was really, I'm getting chills right now, by talking about it because it was so real. And so as I was walking, there was a path and it was orange. And I don't know if people know what stalagmites are, um, but there was a bunch of stalagmites. And so I'm walking the path and I'm like, okay, just keep going, doing what you're doing. And all of a sudden, this little wolf pup came up and he started playing around me, jumping on me, nipping at my ankles, but he hung with me. And as I'm walking, there was a lady sitting on a stone and beautiful, beautiful lady. Okay. Yeah, long gray hair, very old, but there was just a sense of beauty coming from her. And so I sat down on a rock with the wolf pup in my lap. And she looked up at me and she smiled. And she didn't say nothing. She just looked and smiled. But it was really crazy because I felt that energy coming from her. And it was just warmth. It just felt like that deep down inside that there was an inner strength that was coming up. And now this is like totally, as I got out of the meditation, I was freaking out because this is like so real. And then she spoke. And she said, Shawn, I give you this wolf pup. He will be your guide. He will be your spirit guide. Wherever you go, he will go with you. And I named him Lakota. Now, there are some people here listening tonight, like him and others. I don't know if Denise knows about it, but Lakota has stayed with me since that time. Now he's big, he's bad, and he kicks butt. But he protects me whenever I go into meditations or whenever I went on in investigations when there wasn't too many happy spirits, when there were bad ones. And I would see him, like I'd be in a meditation and he'd be right there with me, and someone would try to invade on my meditation space and he would just rip them to shreds. But he was there, and he's my protector. He's my protector. And so I consider him the alpha animal. Okay, but as the alpha male totem was Lakota, and he's still with me even to this day. But you also need a female energy too. I hope I'm saying this right, then, Kim. I hope you're still listening. But you also need a female energy. And so one day I was out at South Park and I was meditating and I was, trying to find, my female animal spirit. And all of a sudden, no lie, honest to God's truth, this red-tailed hawk came down and sat right in front of me, was perched. And I was like, wow, what is that crazy? And so for me, my totems is Lakota, who's the wolf, and the red-tailed hawk is my female energy. And they're always with me everywhere I go. Now, a lot of people will probably think, you're crazy, Shawn. You're crazy for even thinking that. Animals can't do that. Animals can. Animals can. Animals are great. Whenever you're out doing something, if you're out in the woods, if you're out even shopping, and you come across an animal, a cat, dog, deer, a bear, whatever, or a crow or a hawk, whatever, that makes its presence to you for that day at that very specific time, that animal is waiting for you. It has a message for you. And what I highly recommend that you do, say like you're out driving and you see a cat. Now I know you see a lot of them, Holly, but maybe you should do that, Holly, is look up house cats as animal guides and read why they're there with you. You're riding around, you see a deer cross in front of you, or you just see a deer on the side of the road. You see a skunk, you see possums, you see raccoons. They all have a meaning. They all have a meaning for what you're going through at the time that they presented themselves. So, what you need to do is go and Google the animals that you saw that day. And you'll be surprised. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it that when you look up the animals that you saw that day, is probably what situation you're going through. And when you look it up, let's just say raccoon. You look up raccoon and it says this, and this, and this. And you're thinking, oh, wow, I can identify with da, 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 da. And then it shows you what you need to do in order to protect, to deal with the situation that you're in. What does Holly say? I always see a squirrel out of my bathroom window. Okay, so what I'm going to do for you, Holly, okay, is I'm going to look up squirrel in the medicine cards. I'm going to just get it from the book, okay? If they have one in there. I'm sure it is. They gather nuts. Squirrel, page 141. Let's see what the squirrel has to. Let's see what it has to say. Does anybody else have any animals that they seem to be that are seemed attracted to you? Um, okay, come on. There we go. Squirrel. This is a squirrel, Holly. Okay, it's called. They represent the gathering. Okay, squirrel teaches you to plan ahead for the winter. When the trees are bare and the nuts have long since disappeared, squirrel medicine can come in many forms, as this furry creature is very diverse in nature. The erratic behavior of the squirrel has bested many of forlorn hunters, and it thus stands to reason that there are benefits to being able to circle a branch at lightning speed. So, what the squirrel does, okay, here it's going. We're coming up right now. If the squirrel has scurried into your cards today, it may be that you are being told to honor your future by readying yourself for change. So, Holly, you see the squirrel, there's a big change coming up. That's what I read. That's the way I look at it. And gathering your nuts and preparing for the future. And I hope you learn. What I suggest, Holly, is after the show tonight, please look it up, okay? And maybe you can get some sense out of why that scroll is there with you. You know. Oh, there's that again. But you know what? Yep, there it comes again. Okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna say next week, start next week's show, and whoever's listening to the show next week, whenever I say I want you to tell me. And what I will do is put $1 for every knows that I say that night. Denise McConnell says, I can't say I've had an animal spirit guide, but all my pets found me. I did have an important set of dreams about a German Shepherd, but I know he came to get my sick cat. Okay. So for you telling us that, and thank you, Denise, for sharing that. In your dream, you saw the German Shepherd. So what you want to look up or Google would be the dog. Okay. And I do believe the dog is loyalty. Besides the German Shepherd coming to get your sick cat, but also, hon, it also could represent that it has something for you. It has a message for you. So just Google it and read it and check it out. See what happens. There's a good book out there right now. It's called Animal Speak by Ted Andrews. And that was like my encyclopedia. It helped me because not so much, the medicine cards has your animals in here that they put into the deck. But Ted Andrews' book, Animal Speak, they, okay, will he comes up with almost every living animal there is out there and the meaning and the purpose behind it. Ted Andrews, Animal Speak. I guarantee you will, once you open it up and you start reading, you're not going to put it down. Now, there are some spreads in there that you can do with cards or whatever, I do believe, but mainly it just gives you the definition of the animals um, that are there. Denise says, Denise McConnell says, I am born in the year of the dog. That's pretty interesting. Not really big in the Chinese horoscope bit. Not just yet. Maybe that's something that I can look to. Maybe I can find a guest on here to come onto the show and maybe they can explain it to us. I think I'm the Tiger, 1962. So if anybody's looking at, so I don't even know what the Tiger means. The only time I see that stuff is when I go to a Chinese restaurant and I look at the placemat. But I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool on how different ethnic backgrounds have different ways of telling the horoscopes. Maybe that's something I can look into. down the road. You know, there's that. You know. Now remember, you have to count how many you knows that I say next week, and then I will put $1 into it, and I will give it to charity. And I think it's going to be great. You know, I got about 4 minutes left in the show. Is there anybody out there that has a question or before I pull the card? And I promise you that I'm going to really get into this medicine card book to where I don't have to keep up looking up for the definitions. So, since nobody has a question, what I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to draw 3 cards. And we're going to make this, as you can see, I'm shuffling. And this will be the new, coming up on the new year reading. And these 3 cards were for people who could use them. And maybe, the 3 cards that I do draw or, might not help those people. But there's always next week. In fact, since I found these cards, I'll be doing one of these every week, I think. So I just got done shuffling them. Okay. And I'm going to cut them like that. Okay. And the first card I pull up, okay, is the Black Panther. That's interesting. I never pulled that up. So remember the Black Panther. The second card is a snake. Oh, can we get it? Yep. Look how pretty those cards are. Look how really pretty they are. And the third card, which is your future card, is a turtle. Okay. So we got the Black Panther. Okay, real quick, gotta find it. I'm interested in this Black Panther one. And there's that again. I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. I'm getting there. Like I said, there's so many animals and there's a lot of the Black Panther. Honest to God, this is cool. Embracing the unknown is what the Black Panther is all about. I don't know if you can read that. That's crazy. Because look, we're going to 2023. But we have to embrace the unknown. That is so cool. That is so cool. I love it. Okay, and the snake is up front. Yeah, I think snake yeah. And the snake is transmutation, which is really cool. Okay. Because you know how a snake shreds its skin, okay? Well, going and accepting the unknown for 2023, it's like, the snake is like shedding its skin, just like you guys are shedding your skin. And and you're going into the unknown of 2023. Is that cool or what? Now we got the last card, which is the turtle. And the turtle, and Kimmy can understand this a lot. The turtle, which is Mother Earth. Okay. And what's with the turtle, okay? Mother Earth. That's too long of a chapter to read. But the Black Panther embracing the unknown going into 2023. The snake transmutation as you go to the unknown of 2023. You're shedding your skin, which was 2022, and you're starting off brand new in 2023. And Mother Earth is there. The way I look at the Mother Earth card, the turtle card, I believe it means that Mother Earth is going to protect you and for you to, get grounded. Start looking at different things that you can do out there when the weather gets a little better. What I used to do now, I'm a crazy dude, and I would go buy salmon, and I'd go to the pond out in South Park, and I'd just throw a nice big piece of salmon out there, knowing that the raccoons are going to eat that. You know. But it is close to the witching hour, and it's time for me to go. I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. We are on UPRN 105.3 New Orleans, and I want to thank every single one of you for listening. Thanks, Denise. Appreciate it. You too have a good night. Thank you for listening. So, next week, it's going to be 2023. So, have a safe New Year's. Don't go out and drink and drive. If you do go out to drink, have somebody with you, a designated driver. Okay? And on that note, parents, please go to your children and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And children, go to your parents, give them a hug, tell them that you love them. Because those three words, I love you, go a long way. On that note, good night, Holly. Good night, Frederick. Good night, Denise. Good night, everybody who was in the show. Have a good evening. Have a safe New Year's, and I'll see you in 2023. Happy hunting.